Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is Monday. It's for Monday, the 25th of September, 2023, 6:40 p.m. Central Time. It is the Jewish holiday. It is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Around the world, Jews were in their synagogues, so you weren't seeing a lot of trading from them, I can tell you that. I have a dinner that I'm going to shortly with to break. A lot of us fast on that day and so on and so forth. But an important day, and now that it's out of the way at sundown, it's back to normal trading for most people. So this is an interesting week. I mean, are we going to see a government shutdown? It's certainly the odds favor you're going to see a government shutdown. There's only so much the Democrats will do. They win by default if it shuts down, and they go, look what you Republicans did to the United States. At the same time, we'll have our president on a picket line. I don't think a president of the United States should do that. I think he's the mediator between business and the workers. And now, if he ever was called in to mediate, what good? If I'm the president of GM, Stellantis, Ford, I go, I know he's so pro-union. Anything he's going to tell me, why would I want to listen to him? And that's what you're dealing with. Poll readings, did you take a look at them? I mean, it's hard to believe an ex-president's indicted 4 times, and he's really in the polls doing a number on a sitting president. I'm blown away by it. Are you looking at the border? This is part of the reason. Biden's going to be up in Detroit to get votes. Is anybody looking at the total disaster America has? We're not getting 10,000 people occasionally coming over the border. They're now saying August was 300,000. We're getting about 9,000 to 11,000 a day as of an hour ago. I heard the story every day. And we're out there just bringing them in, and we're just letting them loose in the country. And you think this is how we, number one, protect ourselves. Number two, are we doing these people any good? They're desperate. They have nothing, folks. Not everyone's totally broke, but most are. They need help. Now, the sanctuary cities, just got to say this. In Chicago today, I'm reading, and bingo, aldermen are going to bring up now to bring it up. They want to get it on a ballot for March. Remove Chicago as a sanctuary city. The cities our size, New York, San Francisco, where's the money to support these people? You can't keep taxing me and other homeowners throughout the city. Our sales tax is 10%. We have a pension that we can't fund, and you want to bring in all the migrants of the world. They need a home. That is what the federal government should be there for. If they're going to let them in the way they are and not turn them back, then take care of them. Pretty simple. Doesn't take a genius to see that. On the weekly chart of the S&P, that's why I put ES23, you're under the 18-week average, the red line. Guess what that means? It means the bias of the market is now to the downside. Do you remember a month ago or so, I put out a special report and I said, everybody, please take a look at this report. And the report's a video report. It was up on my website 3 days. And then after it, I kept saying, I think the month of September is going to prove to be seasonally a very big month to the downside. Then I gave you the transition that I was looking for to start taking place and when, and what I think would happen going into year end. You got to take this in steps. The first step, if I'm not right on what the month of September would do, I don't have much of a chance on the other steps. You could be right, but you don't know. Well, I'm turning out to be extremely right with 4 days left as to what the S&P did. It's turning out to be a big break month, and last week was another week that the market was down. If you take a look, the high in this neighborhood, 45.65, you now got down to, what is that, under 43.50. So you've gotten a heck of a break in the month of September. Right here is your delineation point. Got it? That's it. So you've had the break. Whether you go further or not, immaterial to me. The event has occurred. It's unfolding. The market's continuing down on that at this point in time. And you've got to be careful because what could happen is the 18-day average in red could get under the 100, and then you get another bearish setup for a while. Where could the support be? Well, since you're already under the green line, the 100-day average of closes, in moving average parlance, 42.90, the 200-day average is there, but the Bollinger Band's probably what the market's looking at, and this is what it is. So you've been running the Bollinger Band. You've been hitting it day in and day out, which is called the Gorilla Glue trade. And it means that when the market hits it, it gets stuck on it, and it generally forces the stochastics to try to embed. Now, it takes these numbers being for several days, both under 20. And you can't count tonight. We don't know how Tuesday is going to end up, but we can certainly count how the market was on Monday, the close. We can go to the close on Friday. Where were you on Thursday? You weren't there. So you don't have several yet. Tomorrow's an important day. I'm looking for a bounce. Markets typically don't want to embed because once they embed, they just lock in these downtrends like this, and you can see what the market tries to do. When I step over and I take a look at are we that overbought, oversold in NASDAQ or embedded, you're not embedded there either. You've come down. You're underneath the 100-day average and the Bollinger Band, and you ran that band. But you're now trying to bounce away again. And in the Dow, it's the same. So none of these stock indices, the ones right here, are there. You're very close to getting another rollover in the micro mini Dow, where the 18-day average gets under the 100, and then I'll look for another decline in the market. And in the Russell, you have your embedded reading. So the market that's been the weakest technically, and all these, I have the prices. If you go back on your chart, just hit pause, you can see where the market finished August at and where you're down. It's a heck of a break. It's not a little bit of break. That's what, 176 points. If I come to the, let's go back. If we come to the Dow, you went from 35,121 to 34,039. So let's call it in round figures. 35,121 to 34,039, a 1,000-point break. It's not a little break. And I'm not going to keep going, but it's so on and so forth. Each one of them, 15,777, 14,7. These are big breaks. And again, seasonals. Came in looking for a certain way. I didn't do a special report to be wrong, and I got lucky. I was so right on it. In the 10-year notes, you just keep running the lower Bollinger Band. You're fully embedded. On big rallies, markets probably still get sold. Eventually, wherever rates are going to peak, they'll peak, but it generally doesn't end this way just yet. You have to lose the embedded reading to get the first sign that you're ending, and you haven't done that. So on rallies, if you just come out of the box and rally in these, probably getting the pros to still sell it. Here's the market down at 105.08 and a half. That's 10 points from Friday's high already. When we take a look at the dollar index, you're up at key resistance, the upper Bollinger Band, but that's that embedded reading. You don't fight the embedded reading. You're trying to go with it. Your bias is up, the trend is up, and you have an embedded reading. It's all systems go, and it's a flip-flop. All systems sell. When you have an embedded reading down, trend down, bias down, all systems down for that market. There are ways to come in. I teach it in my embedded course. I'll talk about it right at the very end of this. British pound, embedded reading. I'm still right in that bear camp all the way through. Now it's time to move to the October Bitcoin. There's a few days left in September, but I'm going to move to this one. The trend down, the bias down. If the market extends the break, maybe you can get to 25,354. We're waiting to see what the SEC is going to do with Grayscale. Are they going to give them a clean bill of health or not? I saw the SEC from Coinbase was asking for more information today on something they were helping with investments on. I don't think the SEC is let up on this just yet. Now, I'm going to keep November Brent versus WTI a couple of more days this week, and then I'm going to switch to DEES. Now, it's not time to leave the November WTI. But it is time to go to the December Brent, and that's because of when the contracts stop trading, when traders move. You had lost the embedded reading. Let me give you an idea here as to why this course is so important. So you have your embedded reading, both numbers going sideways over 80. You lose the reading. You get a 78. Until the market goes back over that high, the odds favor price and the 18-day average are going to try to come together. Let me come back here. There we are. I hit the wrong button. Still coming down. Making your run for that number. That's the point I'm making here. And when it gets there, it doesn't have to collapse any further. This could be the correction before you get your footing back under this energy again, and you take it another time to the upside. It could keep happening because OPEC Plus has control. I mean, big control. And I don't buy for a second that given U.S. policies, big oil in America is going to go all out and produce. I was reading, the president of Chevron was speaking today in Oklahoma, and I was reading what he said. Just read between the lines. It's so crystal clear. The U.S. policy is anti-oil. These people aren't going to do what you think. Yes, the wells they have are producing their record amounts. We could go a lot more. That isn't going to happen. At least in my opinion. I could be so wrong. Higher lows, lower highs, lost embedded reading. Still looking ideally to come back down here. But nothing on this work says go short. All the work is saying is look for more of a correction. When you're over the 18-day average, the way that this goes, everything I've taught you so far, you're not looking to go short there. In the heating oil, I went down to my target number. So for me, I could be so wrong on all this. This is where I think the market now starts building its support. I'll be surprised if you get down this low. I think it should find its footing here and then try to come up again. The weekly charts today got the buy signals in them filled. But remember, weekly chart, you'll say, well, Ira, what month makes up the weekly? The September goes off the board shortly. It rolls into the note. That's how these charts are made up when they're weeklies. They roll from one to the other. If all you did is trade the November beans off a November bean weekly chart, you could do that, but you're not getting the bigger picture. And it's only around X amount of time. So I want to get 200-week averages on it. You can't do it. They're generally, most markets and futures don't trade 4 years. 200 weeks, simple math, about 4 years. Okay. What do we have here? Higher high, higher low, sort of stuck. If you take out 260.60, don't be surprised if you make another run into the 250 area. And if you take out 268.30, don't be surprised if the market suddenly tries to pick itself up for there. You're in no man's land on this right now, and that's the battle that you're fighting. So as I said, you put it all together, you come up with game plans. If you're a market technician, you're like me, you're looking at these opportunities. Opportunities don't mean you're going to win. They mean they're opportunities, all right? Trading is an interesting vehicle. If every trade won, everybody'd be the richest person in the world. It doesn't work that way. So it's a question of what are you trading? Market momentum? Got to give the market more breadth. Are you trading absolute points on the chart? Narrow it in. I teach all this in the Enhanced Bollinger Band course. I want you to look at this. Gives you an idea of how you play the momentum trade. If you move your cursor up here, it'll take you to the website where you can learn more. You can watch this ad. You go to iraepstein.com under the word education, Enhanced Bollinger Band course, and I'll see you all in the morning. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my Enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.